And here we are again on a Thursday at noon in, as always, sunny Florida around this time. And I have my little kitty Bella here, who, of course, around this time decides she wants attention. Sarah from Virtuous Unicorns is with us.
Hi, everyone.
And we have a few people online already. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, I see JB is here and sounds like he might want to call in because he says, is there a link to be on the show?
Oh, yeah. Well, you have the link. Can you put it in?
I can.
This morning, I came across a saying or a quote that is supposed to be from Voltaire. And let me find it. Oh, now it's gone. And I couldn't find it anymore. Okay, if I'll find it, I'll read it because it was quite interesting. And I was a little, oh yeah, here it is. Physicians pour drugs of which they know little to cure disease of which they know less into humans of which they know nothing. Now Voltaire was, that's a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
A long time ago. Was it 1600s, around that time?
I believe so.
I don't know if there were drugs then. I have not been able to find anything from this quote related to Voltaire, but it was in a book. So but still, I think even for today, it's very accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's true, you know, doctors know very little about the drugs they give because everything is computerized. You put in a few symptoms, and here you get a list of drugs that you can use. They absolutely know anything about what the drugs can do. It gives a counter option if there are side effects for another drug. And it is true and it's absolutely true that the people they are treating, they know nothing about, because how long is a doctor's visit? Is it 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, 15 minutes if you're lucky?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I had a naturopath doctor, and crazy enough, he always tried to get me on always, that's not true, of course, but he did try to get me on the antibiotics. And it's amazing how little they know and how much we rely on them, or a lot of us rely on them. Yeah. And that is actually quite scary.
It is. And I have, I know doctors, I actually know a decent amount of them, and we do speak, and it is very hard on them as well too, because they do want to, and they believe they are doing the right thing as well. But it's so, I don't know if political is the right word to use in this situation, but they're so bombarded now with the insurance companies and all the backdoor stuff that they have to maintain as well too. And they have to see so many clients now, because a lot of their billing stuff has changed as well too, where these large corporations have come in and even taken over some of your small local doctors' offices. And now they have to all maintain that whole status with them too. It's almost kind of like the farmer having to maintain everything with, you know, if they're going to be organic and whatnot. It's just like another way of the government coming in and controlling even like the local doctors or whatnot. And then the I think they're, what are they, the pharmaceutical reps, or the, you know, those rep people that come in and they bring them foods every day. They are just always asking for the doctor's time, and the doctor doesn't have the time. And then they're drug reps, that's what they're called. And they're leaving all of this stuff with the doctors. The doctors haven't even really had time to sit down and look through at this point either. So you have drug reps coming in and basically pushing drugs on the doctors to start using and whatnot. So there's a whole nother background behind what goes on behind the scenes with the doctors. And at least the doctors I know, it does cause them a lot of stress, and they feel like they're kind of caught in like a catch-22 as well.
True, but they have choices also.
They do.
And the physician I had, he was not, he didn't work with insurance companies, and it was still the same. So yes, I know that, but even to stay on the legal side, you're, well, it's pretty much everywhere. They have to take your blood pressure, have to take your weight, but that is all that they know about you. You know, that is how far it goes. So, yeah.
Well, mainly what I was just saying though is I think they keep them so overwhelmed as well too, and everything's spinning on them and keeping them so overbooked that it's like a distraction that they're doing. So that way we can't even have the good doctors have time to sit down to think and to make sense of everything that they're seeing. More distractions.
Well, I hope that more doctors wise up. I know, I do know people who they actually work with Dr. Morse who went a different route and do take time. And I don't know if I would suspect that rules in every state are pretty much the same for this. So. But anyway, it is, we do know that things have to change, and they will change over time. So I see that Katie, I emailed with Katie about getting kidneys filtering. The parsley, I suggested using fresh parsley juice, about 2 bunches, and you put it all, you wash them, dry it off a little, depending on what water you use, and and then put it all in the blender, stem and all, stem, leaves, everything. I cannot say that it has a good taste, but it can help you with getting the kidneys to filter. So that is fresh parsley juice. I use about 2 bunches. Depends on how big they are. Sometimes you need 4 to get maybe 6 ounces. Other time you need only 1 bunch to get 6 or 8 ounces even. You do that for about a week. You first see how you feel after you do it one time, because if your kidneys start hurting too much when you do that, you'll stop and you try less. So it is just try it out. I started out with maybe 4 ounces, and then I upped it for about 8. It's not the greatest taste, but you do it on your empty stomach, and maximum 2 weeks.
Is there an alternative to the parsley?
No, it is the parsley that does it. What I did, Katie, and I sometimes use, that is a liquid, organic liquid stevia. It is the only one that has no aftertaste. And I put 1-2 drops in it, and then it's not that bad at all. You cannot be worried about it. It's just you drink it, you live, It's not that important. It's like, okay, this is good for me, and I'm going to do it, and there you go. It works.
Yep, I know. That's one thing I wish I'd get past too.
Yeah, maybe a good chaser would be 1 zip of water and not a whole glass. So, yeah.
Hold your nose and take it like a shot, I guess.
Yeah, I found that there is actually a way to not activate your taste buds. It may sound crazy, and I cannot even explain it. I just sip it and I don't think about it, and then I'm done. Because I saw my husband and he was like, "Oh my God," like easy.
Yeah, I am definitely a baby when it comes to that kind of stuff, for sure.
Yeah, and another way to get your kidneys to filter, because that is where it all starts. I was listening to a short Dr. Morse clip this morning, and he put emphasis on it again. You have to get your kidneys to filter. And he also mentioned, do a dry fast. Do that 1 day of, have a 1 day fruit juice, And then say in the evening, after 6 you don't have anything, the next day you don't have anything, and then the next morning after that you have, like 24 hours of a dry fasting, and that means no showering. They call that actually a hard dry fast: no drinking, no showering, no teeth brushing. And then you stop your fast with fruit again, with fruit juice again.
Mm-hmm. I was watching there was a little clip on, I think it was on Instagram, but it's a doctor that was talking, like an MD doctor was talking about the bags under your eyes, and then he was like doing a lymph, like moving lymph from under his armpits, and apparently he's been doing that for a little while, and now the bags had went from out from under his eyes. He no longer had the bags or the dark circles anymore, is what he was claiming. So my comment was, well, so now you just let it go somewhere else in your body. Are your kidneys filtering? And of course, nobody responds to stuff like that.
No, because they don't know. It seems that more and more people know about getting the lymph moving, but it's just you move it to a different place. It is waste, and if it cannot filter out, your kidneys, of course, they filter, but not. Well, I call it, they don't filter adequately. You don't get enough of the waste out, and for me, when I was in my 20s, and I mentioned this often, that I had an iridology reading, and they told me my kidneys were bad. And I had bags under my eyes. I was only 20 years old, but I was wearing glasses, so nobody knew about that connection of bad kidneys and bags under the eyes. So it was like, oh, but that is because you are wearing glasses, and that's what happens. So in a way, the frame of my glasses were kind of hiding the bags under my eyes. But for a while, I wore contact lenses. Well, it definitely did not get better. And I realized, because I couldn't deal with the contact lenses, now I know I had so much lymph stagnation that the contact lenses just got you couldn't see through it. There was so much stuff that got into the lenses, and they call it there was a sort of a fat absorption, because they didn't really understand what was going on. And so I dealt with kidney issues for a long time. I still have the same bags under my eyes, but that is, for me, it's more difficult to get my kidneys to filter. And I get little filtration when I do a dry fast, but I too have to go to that probably, and I should do it like once a week, do once a week and 24-hour dry fast. Because we come here together, and including that I am doing these podcasts for myself to heal and to help others to heal even with my experiences, and share what can work. Another thing that can work is go 10-15 days on a lemon juice fast. Nothing but lemon water and some maple syrup, or if needed, you can use raw honey in it, and do that. I've done that years ago for 40 days. So these are all things that can help your kidneys. And actually, I found it rather, I found it enjoyable. Not having to think about, oh my gosh, I'm so hungry, what am I going to eat? And that is what I hear the most. I cannot deal with the hunger. No, but that is only the first few days. After that, your body gets used to that. And okay, we have another person now on the call. I saw two people coming in. JV came in and Mindy, so let's welcome them. And if they just, if you hear a little silence, then that means we give you a chance to say something. Or we can actually okay, JV, what do you have to share?
Hello, welcome both. Are you both on the call together, or are these separate questions?
Separate, yeah.
Okay.
But to speak, you do have to get off mute. Unless you just want to stay silent, that's okay too. We just keep rambling.
Okay, Mindy just went ahead and posted and says that they're at work and they're just listening. So,
Oh, okay.
Want to go ahead? Please do. Hi, JB. One.
Oh, hi. Am I on?
Yes, you are.
Oh, wow. Can you see me?
Yes, we can. Welcome.
Oh, wow. Okay. I just see an image of a unicorn. So but that's what I'll see, right? Because you guys are anonymous.
Yeah, we are incognito.
Hey, where'd the unicorn go?
Yeah.
All right. No, I was getting a really strange echo there, but I guess what I had to do was mute the YouTube side, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it worked. All right. Well, I thought it would be a good time to kind of join in because Toni, you were talking about doing the 40 days, and we had talked about that before. I had done the master cleanse for 40 days, completely like the way that it was made to be done, like where you do the tea in the morning, or wait, is that when you do no, you do the saltwater flush in the morning, and then you drink as many of those lemonades as you want during the day, and then at night you do like a laxative, like a smooth moves laxative tea, and I did that for 40 days completely like that. Whereas I don't know if you did yours, Toni, completely like that.
Oh no, absolutely not, because I find the salt flush pretty scary, and I didn't do any of the pills to have more flushing in your GI system, because actually the lemon water was more than enough. So it took 2 weeks before the black stuff started to come out. And so that is what I did, but that was before there was a master plan. Whoever designed that, it was it's probably about 10 years ago that I did it for 40 days. I've been doing juice fasts that is pretty much every 2 months. It's like only juice for 3 to 4 weeks, but that is just on an average, but to clean myself out after I had a cooked meal again. But Dr. Morse is not really a fan of the master fast the way it's done, because it's rather harsh on the body and it's not really needed that way. And I feel that salt water flush, no. I bathe in salt water, but putting it in my body, no. It's I cannot recommend it, and I do stick with what Dr. Morse recommends, and not all the others. I know of all the other things, but it's like, for me, like, no, let's not do that. If I want to help clients, I need to do that with the way what I learned, and I don't know the effects of all the other things, and I don't like to have any harsh stuff. What is his name? Schultz, Dr. Schultz. I did his cleanse plan. Probably around that time too, so 8-9 years ago, and of course it worked, but it's pretty harsh. And so we are more about the easier ways. Let's say it that way. But how did you feel afterwards? Did you stay on that?
It was phenomenal. Yeah. Well, I had actually done the master cleanse like for 10 days. I worked my way up to actually going for 40. I don't think I originally intended to go 40, but I felt so good. I think after 30, and I was following the guidelines of a book, a master cleanse book, and apparently, like, you use a particular salt. It's a great Celtic or Celtic salt, and that's where you get your minerals, it says. and then of course, yeah, within 20 minutes to a half an hour, you're really flushing out, and when I was quite a bit into the fast or the cleanse, there was still stuff coming out. You know what I mean? Like those little hard, black balls of matter that have been in there for many years. And and of course, in the evening, there's a tea, and there's a brand name called Smooth Moves, and so that works over the night to kind of loosen things up, and then to my understanding about the lemon, you get a lot of your energy from the maple syrup, and the cayenne pepper it stimulates the intestine walls. And so yeah, after 40 days I really felt great. But then recently I've actually learned about that we don't necessarily be wanting to put salt into our body, that it's actually the wrong particle size. Our bodies it really can't utilize it. The nano form that it comes in, like for in fruit and in our vegetables and stuff, is the proper size of the particle for our bodies to assimilate. So yeah, I probably wouldn't do the master cleanse again verbatim like that. But actually, well, right now, the reason why I wanted to get on the show was because I'm a 1 week into my 14-day water fast, and so I'm really feeling great. I'm on the spiritual side of it right now. So yeah, I actually worked my way into the water fast with some lemonade. I used a lemon and some maple syrup and cayenne, and just did the drink. I didn't do any, saltwater flush or Smooth Moves tea or anything. I'm being a lot more gentle on my body now, but yeah, so far so good. I no food cravings, no hunger pains. It's really great right now. I'm feeling good, and I'm Mowgli too. Look, I'm inspired by Eugene.
Yeah, he's something. When you mentioned the Smooth Move, I think that is the one that has senna in it. And senna
Yes.
is very aggressive on the body. And I used it back in my 20s because that was the big thing. I wanted to lose weight. I was overweight. I was on a vegan diet, but way too much grains and beans in it. So I was gaining weight and I wanted to lose it. So there you had, your weight loss tea with senna in it. Oh my God, that messed up my system so bad. That took, and I took it for a long time. That took years and years to fix. And that meant that it was, I think, 2/3 of my life, I had problems with my GI tract, really, really bad. So always be so careful with senna. I can see when you have, because I know of people who have constipation, they can only go once a week or once every 10 days. Well, then I would say, okay, you might use a little senna to get something flushed out, because it will flush out.
Yeah, there is senna in this. It's a blend.
Yeah, I know Smooth Move, because the
Yeah,
the name hasn't changed in a long time.
Okay, yeah. It works. It's pretty mild though. Yeah, I mean, if you just did senna, that'll really get things moving.
Yeah. And to Katie, about the maple syrup. Yeah, unfortunately, maple syrup is extremely processed. There is a video on YouTube about it, and I looked it up, and I was stunned. I didn't expect that, all the processes it had to go through to be able to get what we have in a bottle. So with maple syrup, the real stuff, sometimes it even says raw maple syrup. There's no such thing. Organic could be, because then, you know, I don't know what the difference would be, because it comes from a tree. It needs to be as dark as possible, and that's pretty much it. You know, no other additives. I love maple syrup. I mean, if you let me, I can drink it out of the bottle. I love it. So yes, it does go, you know, a tablespoon in my daily lemon water. And sometimes I may sneak in that Omega. That's what it's called. Omega. What is it? I lost it again. The sweetener.
I'm not sure what it is either.
Oh yeah, well, I mentioned it before, but I was using a few drops in things like in the parsley juice. Forget it. I have to explain something. About 9 years ago, and I may have mentioned it before, but I wasn't aware of it until a few years ago. I had a heart attack. I drove myself to the hospital, and there they put to see if I had a blockage that caused a heart attack. It was already over when I was in the hospital, and I wanted to go home, and they didn't let me. And they put dye in my body to check. That is called glandolinium, I think. That stuff is so toxic that over the years, and I already found that after I woke up again, something changed in my brain. This stuff is still not completely out of my brain. I mean, I've been detoxing now for 3 years, off and on, and it's still an issue. And then sometimes I'm come like, okay, what was I going to say? And part of it is, of course, you know, the stagnated lymph in your brain too. But it was that dye, and they use that same stuff for CT scans. I want people to be aware of it. If you do all this kind of stuff, you know, with tests, be aware of what it is and the effect it can have on your brain. Because it took me, you know, it was so bad that I could barely finish a sentence, not only in English, but not even in Dutch, my own language. So always be careful with that stuff. Anyway, what I was going to say, it was stevia. It's called Omega with a C, stevia, and it's liquid. It has no aftertaste, and you only need a drop or two. And that is what I have been using. Am I going to say I recommend it? Well, you can use maple syrup, you can use honey. It is whatever you like to do. This is my choice. I hear people like, yeah, but it is it's highly processed too. Yeah, but you could say that from tinctures also. You know, you just get the best out of an herb, because stevia is an herb. And I have used powdered stevia too, you know, just raw from the raw plant. So you can do that too. So that was my my sweetener and maple syrup story.
I do the maple syrup when
I get this stuff. Yeah. What about this stuff from Costco?
That's
organic.
what I use. That's the one I get.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. The price is right.
Yeah, it is.
It doesn't say raw. It doesn't say raw, but what is it about the maple syrup? You can't get raw? Is no such thing, or what?
No, you can get raw because it's processed, and as soon as anything is processed, you know, it's not there. But that is organic too.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah, I can't get that here. Well, there is a Costco, but that is about an hour away. I haven't been there yet.
We go to Costco to get our syrup, our maple syrup, and we get our frozen blueberries there. They're the best cost for it, and we have one that's within driving distance from us. So yeah, the whole process for maple syrup is, if you're going to do it like even outside over the fire, it's an all day just basically you're burning off the liquid that's in the maple syrup, getting down to it. And then even sometimes you have to bring it into the home at night in the evening because you run out of your daylight or whatever. And it still has to process down even farther from that. So you are heating it for hours upon hours just to get to the maple syrup. But I think I cannot fully remember, but it's just easy for our body to process, even though it is processed sugar, basically. Do you remember anything about that too? It's just easy on us.
It is. Dr. Morse, he even recommends it. It's not like, oh, you have to have the maple syrup, but it is an option that you can use.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then you have another syrup, and I have a cat. I am all the time that I've been talking, I've been petting a cat so she would scream.
She wants to be part of the show too.
It's like you're talking and you're not talking. Oh, you're talking to me. I think that is what it is.
Maybe she's trying to talk to me though, because she knows I'm another big cat person. She wants me to get a message to my cats.
It's kind of funny because the whole day when I'm sitting here and it's quiet, you know, she's sleeping and I start talking and she's like, hey, I'm here too.
Oh, it's no different than your kid when you get on the phone. You're like, why do you want to talk to me now?
Yeah. Because I'm in the meantime, I'm looking up what the other thing was.
Are these an agave?
No, it is blackstrap molasses.
Oh, yep.
Or pure sorghum. I have that too. I bought that on a farmer's market one time. It actually tastes like a syrup that we have in Holland. I never asked, you know, what it was made of. We go back way back to when I was a kid. They had never heard of that stuff that they are using here in the US. To you know, to sweeten everything up. Everything that is packaged pretty much has it in it. But anyway, it's the two great fruit juices are the lemon fast and the grape juice fast. So.
And I don't fast.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I don't fast at all. I'm not to that point where I feel comfortable to do it. I do fast through the night, obviously, while I'm sleeping and whatnot. But I guess you could say we do more juice fasting, and that's pretty much it. But I've never done like a full fast.
Yeah,
They have the intermittent fast, right? That's the one where you would just you wouldn't well, you would stop eating like 3 hours prior to bedtime and then extend your the next day you would extend it into like not eating until after 11 or something like that. That's like considered a daily fast. And then there's the weekly fast, which is the one where you would go 24 hours without eating something for 2 days out of the week, but not consecutively.
Right.
But yeah, if you you have to be obviously, you know, wanting to do that and feel comfortable doing it. But
well, I do that every single day. Then if that's considered, then yeah, I do that fast every day.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we do our orange juice, and then we usually don't take in food until sometime after like 3 o'clock anyway. So more in the afternoon.
it is actually.
No, I had a question. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say it's actually pretty easy to do to make it a little longer every day, so you have a longer dry fast, and that's how you get into it. And doing it every day is amazing, and make it a long one in a weekend or whenever you can. Yeah, that would be perfect.
Yeah, I enjoy kind of experimenting, you know, being the scientist with my body, you know. That's how you know thyself, is getting to know your body. And yeah, I really enjoy, I look forward to the fast, you know, because and now that I'm into it 7 days right now, I had anticipated what it is that you go through, you know, where, you know, you're gonna have the hunger pains and the cravings and whatnot, but they were so mild to me this time. You know, this is really for me groundbreaking, because it's really for me like I just kind of jumped right into the spiritual aspect of it. You know, this is where you're losing that brain fog, and you have the mental clarity. It's just it's all coming to me, and this is a great time for me to be doing it, because I really believe in like what Dr. Lipton says about, we can change our DNA, and this is a great time when I feel that we're getting a lot of activations and downloads, coming from the ether, from God, from the quantum forces around us. I really feel it, and I'm really more in tune with my body right now. And but I did have a question, and it revolves around the plaque, the coating on the tongue. Like what is that? Is that my body getting rid of some toxins or something? I mean, I would like to have a nice pink clear tongue, but what exactly is that? Do you know?
It is still the mucus, part of the mucus, and that was my goal back then with the 40 days on lemon fast. I don't stop until my tongue is pink. Well, it wasn't pink at the 40 days still, so I still had more detoxing to do. And if your tongue is not pink yet, you have more detoxing to do.
Ah,
And it can
yeah.
be, I've heard of people that it was green to black to all kinds of colors and weird tastes, and it is just junk coming out. And we cannot clear our body in 40 days, not even in 40 days. So that is, I mean, it takes time. And sometimes you do it, you do a fast like that every 3 months, for instance. It is in the past, in the way past, that was normal to use the spring for that and clean out your body. And when it was spring, I actually talked about it, because for me, that time of the year, it was so much easier to do a fast than, in the wintertime, for instance, or in the summertime when there is plenty of fruit. And I feel that naturally it's not the best time to do the fast. But when you do that in the spring, a prolonged fast, it's like you're cleaning out your body for all the beautiful, plentiful fruit that's going to be there in the summer. It's interesting how that works. And I like what you said about, spiritual. You change, you feel lighter, you feel more connected, you see more, you feel more, you hear more, and the negativity seems to disappear. It is, I found it quite amazing, because I was pretty depressed, especially with the state of my body. But when I started to do this, it was like almost an overnight change, how different I felt, and how I more easily connected with everything around me, including people.
Yes, yeah, you're right. I feel that I'm vibrating, I'm resonating on a higher frequency right now. And the animals around me, I love cats and dogs. I have 2 cats and a dog. But they're responding to me differently, and so are other animals. And animals, they detect your vibration, your energy. And yeah, I'm just getting these really great downloads, and I'm starting to like lucid dream, where I'm getting involved in my dreams. So I'm really digging that.
It's pretty amazing how that can work. And yes, Sue, intermittent fasting, 18 hours is you could say between 2 meals or drinks. Try not to drink then either in those 18 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
I was going to say something about the animals, is that I know that you have been off of meat, dairy, and eggs for a while, but I can't remember the exact time frame, but you no longer smell like a predator anymore. and the animals will respond to you better. So even when I walk through the field now, the squirrels don't run away from me. My horse definitely, but I mean, he's used to me, so I always knew that. But like the birds don't fly away. If I see cats out there that are feral, which they're my cats, but usually, they're pretty scared and whatnot. But it is different. The birds don't fly away. The squirrels stay there. Even like possums will just like walk by me in the middle of the night now when I'm walking through the field, and they don't seem scared either. So there definitely is a shift and a change. And it comes from, I think us clearing out our body.
That is beautiful. I love to hear that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I even talk to the squirrels too. Like he like sits in the tree and I'm like, hey buddy.
Yeah.
Whereas before they would run away. That is really neat. I do have something too.
That's true.
I do have something too from the Bible about like when you were talking about fasting, and this is Matthew 11:18. It says, "For John came neither eating nor drinking, and they say he hath a devil. The Son of Man came eating and drinking, and they say, behold, a man gluttonous and a winebibber, a friend of publicans and sinners. But wisdom is justified of her children." So fasting brings clarity, and fasting is tied to John the Baptist. Stop the poisoning of our bodies and mind is by fasting to bring clarity. And fast because a penitent man says, I know not, and I want to know what is right, but at least I know enough to know I know not. And if you know not, fast. Fasting is tied to John, as said before, through the New Testament. And that's how John teaches, by clearing the muddy waters of healing, the waters through fasting. Stop poisoning thy mind with thy thoughts, and stop poisoning thy body with thy food. Take no thought for your life. So it even says in the Bible, fasting of, both our food and of our mind too. So if you're going through the spiritual side of the fasting now, that's got to be a pretty neat ride.
It is.
It is. Amen.
Yeah, it's amazing
Amen.
that it has been out there for so long already, and people don't even know about it. They come with all kinds of justifications why they should eat and how much they eat and what they should eat. And I was just thinking about, isn't it something that in this last, let's say, 100 years, it's all about food, put more in. Nobody talked about fasting. And I believe that centuries ago, there were other eras that had this gluttonous, it's all about food. And then we got back from that, and now we're right in there again. And the way it is now, to me, it is crazy. We talked often about it, how food is everywhere. It's like you're almost forced to eat it, and you have to be really, really strong to not go that route. And how we it is really, I don't know if people want to believe me or don't want to believe me. If you stop eating, if it has to be a juice, then make it a juice. You don't have to completely fast. Try it yourself for 3 days and see how it goes. See how you can overcome that hunger. For me, you talked, JV, about hunger pains. But for me, it was not a pain. It was like when I eat cooked food, it's like I have to have more food, cooked food. Then when I am in that hunger, the fruit won't do. So I do have, once I have been eating cooked meals, then I do have to get back to that all fruit. For me now, it takes only a day, and I'm not hungry anymore. But once you are in that, it's always the cooked food. It is like you have hunger, and it's not even a physical thing. It's more of a mental thing, and that is so crazy. That with a fast or fruit juices, in a few days it's already gone. I haven't figured out what that connection is. I would say it's mental, because I have that feeling when I'm not even hungry. It's like I have one cooked meal and I know there is something left that could be eaten the next day, and I still have the feeling I want to have that while I'm not even hungry. There is some connection that sends signals out that are, yeah, to me, I have to dive in more what exactly it is. It's I don't know what you know about that, Sarah, but I'm amazed by it every time that it's that I feel it happening. How fast I can go with one cooked meal and it just wanted to have more cooked food, and then you stop it for a day and I have no desire for anything cooked, so I'm fine. It's like, so my message is actually get over those, go into the fruit. You can eat all the fruit that you like, it doesn't have to be juices, it doesn't have to be a water fast, but do it for just 3 days and see the changes. It will happen.
I wonder if it has something to do with, does it produce, like cooked food, does it produce like something similar to what cheese does, those opioids, or does it release serotonin to our brain that makes us want that more? I'm not sure.
I read something about what happened in the stomach and the signals it sends to the brains, and I forgot the details. So next time I come across it, I will take a note of it. I should do like what you are doing, taking notes, writing down where you find it. And I'm like, oh yeah, because, throughout my life I had 3 different businesses. So I always had to remember a lot, and I never used a day planner or anything. I didn't write it down. It was in my head. I didn't have to. Now, if I don't see a scheduled appointment, it's not there at all. I can't keep it in my mind anymore.
Well, they keep us very busy now too, to where we can't, we're flooded with information.
Yeah, true, but that was never really a point. And I had busy businesses, from a travel business. So it was a busy business. But it is the multitasking and remembering everything. In general, my memory is still good. And yes, the older you get, the more lymph stagnation you have, and that toxic dye in my brain didn't help me much. It all works together. And so detoxing and getting your kidneys to filter, we get back to that again. It's like, it is so major important.
It really is. Some of the things I did too, which I wanted to mention this before, I forget what we were talking about though, but when I was first transitioning off too, I would still eat stuff, but I would spit it out. Like, that's how it like worked in my mind to help me get over those humps of, like, if I really wanted something to eat that I knew I shouldn't eat, but it was just, I couldn't get it out of my head that I had to have this, I would chew it and then I would spit it out. And so it would be like, it would almost trick my mind that I was eating it, but I actually really wasn't putting it in my body. So that's one way that I remembered that I was getting over the hump of not wanting things. And then the more good you put in, the more your body is just going to sometimes literally just reject it. So like, I couldn't even imagine, like, if you ate like a cheeseburger or something now, what your body would do with that cheeseburger. I think I would be sick.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I would probably be sick. But
yeah.
No,
I agree with you. Yeah.
I have a question for JP. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you ever check if your kidneys are filtering?
Not recently, but well, actually looking at my urine, I am seeing like mucus and stuff, sediment, well, in the toilet anyway, but no, I haven't. I guess, what is it, in the morning you're gonna urinate into a glass and then let that settle and see this, the sediment at the bottom.
Yeah, let it sit for
I haven't.
6 hours.
No, I'll start doing that. Yeah, thank you. But Yeah, I was actually going to comment on what you were saying about the like the psychosomatic part, with eating cooked food. I think for me, one of my biggest Achilles heel has been like salads, because with the fruit, pretty much I just you just eat the fruit. But when it came to salads, I mean, I make a huge salad. I mean, the salad I eat, people look at it, that would be for a family and there would still be leftovers. Um, and I add spices and salt and stuff like that, the oil and the vinegars. I make my own dressing. But then I kind of find that I'm craving other things. And then I'll usually move into like cooked vegetables, steamed vegetables and whatnot. And then that just kind of seems like it just, you know, I build on that. Next thing you know, I'm eating, salted peanuts and all kind of different things that I know I shouldn't be eating. But it generally starts out with me and the salt and the spices is what takes me away from just eating raw. And after I break this fast, I'm gonna commit. I want to be a frugivore, man. That's it. I mean, it just totally makes so much sense, you know.
Yeah, you are a frugivore. You want to be a 100% fruitarian. We're all frugivores, but not
Exactly.
all. We are frugivores who eat a carnivore diet. So that absolutely makes no sense. I think what sets you back when you have your salads, it is usually the oils and the salt, and
Yeah.
that is just not working. It's not working for your kidneys. It's not working for your adrenals, and yeah, then you always want more of that. I found with my salads, I use dulse, which is salty, and without
Yeah.
using the real salt. And yeah, I found that it's not. I may use a little curry powder on it, but usually not. Now I barely eat any salads anymore. I don't like an hour chewing on all kinds of veggies, and it's not. And that is another thing with vegetables. There's only lettuce is what we actually should eat, and we eat all the stuff that is really hard for the digestion and doesn't even work that well. So it's I do stay away from most veggies.
Mhm. I always tell everybody that I'm so plain. Like they're like, well, you don't like any spice of life or anything? I'm like, no, plain, just plain as plain.
Oh,
No
that's
sugar,
good.
no butter, no sweetness. Well, let me take that back. I love my sweet. So give me some maple syrup, but that's plain.
Yeah, definitely salt is my downfall. I like salting things. In fact, if the like say a cantaloupe is not tasting right, I'll salt it. I'm using the Himalayan pink salt, but it's still salt, but yeah, I like salt.
I have yet to find a cantaloupe that tastes really good this year in the first
I
place.
did. I did. I had one
Yeah.
last week. I had
Good.
one last week. I actually took a picture of it I took a picture of it because when I was scooping things out, there was so much juice in it. I had never seen that before.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Because
And
I
it
love
was,
cantaloupe.
yeah, it was a Candelabra Publix, and somebody, and I think it was in the chat last week or the week before, that somebody said, Publix has great cantaloupe. So I bought one right away, and he was right. It was amazing.
Oh, that's awesome. Isn't that funny that when we find something, a fruit that's really good, we have to take a picture of it because it's like we don't find it often. That's so sad. Oh my gosh. Sue was talking
You're
about
right.
in
I
the
did.
chat.
I found a delicious honeydew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Go
I've
ahead.
never had a good honeydew, so I'll have to look for them too.
Oh,
Sue was saying in the
yeah.
chat, she's wondering if her carnal mind is what makes her hungry still. Sue, have you been on a fruit journey already? I can't remember off the top of my head if you have or not, and if so, how long have you been? on that journey.
Yeah, that article that I read about the connection with hunger from our stomach to our brain when we eat cooked foods, that it is different when the stomach receives cooked food than when it receives fruit. And I mean, the way I talk about it, it's like, okay, on fruit, you have no hunger. On cooked food, you have constantly hunger and you want to eat more. And so there is definitely some, I don't know, chemical connection. And that shows me more and more that cooked food is not meant for us. Otherwise, why wouldn't we have these weird reactions to it? It makes no sense. We do not have that on fruit. I mean, this is why I keep saying, I see that constantly, that fruit is actually the only food that's meant for us because of how we respond for that. And then it's like, yeah, but my taste buds, they are tired of all the sweetness. And yeah, then eat a lemon.
Got it out with a lemon. Even on the Facebook group, I've been kind of reading, and there's a lot of times I just want to dive in and start answering questions and everything, but there's so much different information coming in from the comments on those for the Dr. Morse group that people are like, well, are you rebounding? Well, you didn't ask them about their kidneys first, so now you're having them go and rebound before they're checking where their kidneys are filtering or not, and things like that. So I do feel like I want to be reserved on that as well too, especially since I'm new to that group. But there's just so much. It's not only that we've been lied to about history, which is really our story. We've been lied to about everything. So like everything, our food, everything, we've been brainwashed.
Yeah,
so
but
much.
we still are.
Yes.
Even from the side where people say, oh, you have to rebound, it's not a doctor who would tell you that, but now it's on the internet and people hear part of it, but they still don't understand the body. They still have no clue what rebounding does in the body. Yes, it moves the lymph, but you already know all that. But it is like I made a big mistake with that rebounding, and I had done it for a long time. And I had such a big bump on the calf of my right leg that I was like so in pain. And I thought, more rebounding, I'm doing good. This is what is helping. I had no clue what it was doing. Yeah, it was moving the lymph, but that was way before Dr. Morse, and I didn't know, that it's causing you problems if your kidneys are not filtering. And every time you write about that, I see it in every group, and I'm like, there are several Dr. Morse groups, Dr. Morse related groups. He has nothing to do with it. And there is so much, I think, 80%, 90% of the answers in these groups are completely wrong. They heard something about what you should do, but they have no clue about the how or the whys or the why nots. Definitely the why not. So if you see anything and you know about it, please do answer.
Okay. And I'm very happy that so many people want to jump in and help each other. I mean, that's what we're all here to be doing, but there's so much wrong information out there still. Like I watched a thing today where the guy is guaranteeing everybody that you drink that apple cider vinegar every single morning. And I'm like, why you want to pickle your insides? And, then it's like, okay.
Sometimes you feel that you cannot, it doesn't even deserve an answer. And that may sound a little harsh because we, as the people who know, are in these groups to teach. But I do see over and over, people do not want to hear it. They just wanna spout their experience and not listen to anything else. So I do remove a lot of these comments, and it's like, this is not Dr. Morse related. You should know better. Right. You want to be here, you want to give advice, then at least keep it, Dr. Morse related. And that's what you said, you want to pickle your insides. And if you want to do, you think that apple cider vinegar is good, it's the same on your salads, JV. It's like, instead of apple cider vinegar, use lemon. It's much better, and it tastes better too. And in any raw recipe that anyone would see, and you see apple cider vinegar, use lemon.
Yeah. To my understanding, salads and vegetables aren't as nutritious as the fruits, correct?
Well, it's weird to talk about, what exactly is nutrients are in what product or what, food, and give the body the right food and it knows what to do with it. It gets out what it needs. But we are so messed up. It's I didn't know until 2 years ago, I didn't even know that vegetables were extremely hard on our digestion. I put the kale in smoothies and the spinach and all that stuff because I wasn't aware of it. Now you learn more and more about what it does to your body, and it's like, let's not. Let's stay away as much as we can. But if you want to,
Yeah.
it's not easy for everybody to go on our fruit. We have families who do not want to do it. We still have to cook for our family, but we can introduce all kinds of other, raw food, great raw food. If people are not detoxing, I mean, I have that mucusless food list that we talk a lot about, and it has all the foods that you can use, eat, drink while you are detoxing, and all the foods that are great for transitioning or maintenance. But it also, on that same list, I have the foods that are absolutely bad for your body, and so you can see, because there would always be people that said, yeah, but chicken is a little chicken is good and we need our proteins. And I don't know if you noticed that people don't talk about meat anymore. They talk about proteins. They don't say you need meat. They say you need your proteins.
Mm.
And then it sounds like, oh no, you're not killing, and eating sentient beings. You don't kill animals for your food. Now it's like about proteins. Well, we don't need proteins. They mess up your kidneys. We need the
Yeah.
amino acids that are in the fruits. With proteins, it still needs to be converted into amino acids before your body can use it. It takes all energy. So your body cannot put that energy in healing. And the body is a 24/7 healing machine. It give it a chance, and we don't give it a chance. We keep putting in junk and more junk, and even I hear people say it over and over, like, oh, but I'm on a healthy diet. Okay, a healthy diet by who said it was healthy? And then you get to it, and then it's like oils and butters and eggs and like grass-fed beef and raw milk, and even if it's not all that food, it's like, yeah, but I'm 100% vegan. And yeah, well, vegan, there is if I go to the grocery store, and even my health food store, there is 90% junk food in that store, maybe even more. It's yeah.
Live. We want live food. You're right. I keep seeing
That
that
is what it
word
is.
keto
Yeah.
too.
But even in the live foods, and there we come to the part about nuts, what was stopping me, because I've been vegan for a long time now, and what was stopping me from healing was actually the live foods. It was nuts and seeds. And I have a dehydrator, and I could make the most delicious things in the dehydrator. It was still raw. It was raw food. Well, it's also high in proteins and high in fats. And those are the two things that don't help you detox. So if you want to detox, then the nuts and the seeds and the avocados are out. I'm not saying you can never eat that again. Of course you can. But then do it, not
avocados.
Yeah. Well, I have.
I love avocados.
Yeah, I'm finally off of the avocados. I'm done with them. And I really, they're one of my favorite food. And I know they say it's like, oh, but it's so healthy, you could live on it.
Yeah.
Well, it is high fat and it's high protein, and it's not a natural food. There in the wild, you don't find avocados. And Justin, when I did the podcast with Justin last year, and he got into that, and he found actually that there have been avocados in the wild. They had a big seed and very little flesh around it, and they started probably use that to experiment with it. But until 100, 150 years ago, there were no avocados. And I do feel that they
What?
are addictive. There are very few people that eat the avocado as is. You peel it and you just eat it from the seed. No, we make guacamole with it. We made a chocolate pudding with it, or we put it. You can put it plain in the salad, but then the salad has the spices, the oil, the apple cider vinegar, and whatnot. And every time,
Yeah.
I mentioned it many times, every time I ate an avocado, I was having a big setback. And I have arthritis. And I got right away, it only takes 2-3 hours, I got pain in my hands. And it is amazing. It is too high fat to detox, to get the junk out of your body. I'm not saying that you can never eat that again. I mean, you detox, you regenerate. That is, it's an ongoing process. It's not, okay, I detox today and now I'm done for the rest of my life. It is an ongoing process that your body does anyway. If I talk about your body as a 24/7 healing machine, you could, instead of saying healing, you could say detoxing. Or if you use the word, I'm on a detox diet, you could say it's on a healing diet. But it's not what you constantly have to do. I mean, yeah, have your occasional avocado, but when I eat one avocado, I want it the next day,
Yeah.
too, the day after too. And then I figure out all the things that I can do with an avocado, and there you go. You're done with your detoxing. So it is important to
So what
know.
you're saying is that the avocados were engineered, you're saying, then, to be
Absolutely.
what they
I
are
mean,
today? They were.
but people have been doing that with, with corn, with whatever you eat, it's been done.
Yeah.
And I cannot even say that the fruit has been left alone, because we do have fruit without seeds. We have fruit that has no taste. We have oranges with no seeds in them. So it is being manipulated, and this goes centuries ago. Oh my God, sorry guys.
Sounds like a motorcycle.
Yeah, I'm a Harley rider, and so to
Yeah, I ride too.
The sound on my phone when I get a call is a motorcycle. So at least when I am around people and all their and a phone goes off, I don't have to look at it, because my phone is a motorcycle, and who else has that? I haven't heard it yet. I always known it's mine. But I'm sorry, I forgot to turn it off. But what I was saying about the food that is being, we call it manipulating, but they always have experience with making better crops, or changing things, and that is what has happened with avocados. So we don't really know what it is. Why is an avocado so addictive? I mean, until, what is it, 30 years ago? Yeah, 30, 40 years ago, I never heard of an avocado. Now, I come from the Netherlands, and I have been traveling in the US since 81. But before that, no, we didn't have avocados there. So it's and it's a food that it's like, you had it one, you want more of it. It's that special taste. It's that fat in it. Yeah.
And fat is like taking an ibuprofen or a Tylenol. It does release something in us to make us feel good.
Oh my gosh, Katie, that is good that you mentioned that. It's engineering of avocados. I gotta see that, but I'm not a Netflix person. And chocolate, bananas, rice, absolutely. But I found now that I had been on fruit for quite a while, and I felt like I wanted to eat something different, and I had wild rice. So I thought, wild rice, it's not the engineered part. It grows here in the US, it doesn't come from China. It's not the same, it's a seed. It's not the same as, what is it, as the regular rice that you get. Well, lo and behold, here's my confession. I ate it. I had a bowl of rice, just the rice. And of course it had salt in it, so it's not really good to say it was otherwise. It had salt in it. And of course I don't use regular table salt. I used, the Celtic salt. And my blood sugar spiked to almost 300 by eating that. If I'm on all fruit, it's around 80. So it's like, how food can mess up things, even if you think it's not that bad, so.
It sure can. And what I was going to say before too, even when I was listening to you speak, Juan, it was some of the stuff you were talking about did sound a little complicated with the the matching of the particles of the salt and whatnot, but everything is simple, everything is simplicity, and that's the way it's supposed to be. Our body is what makes everything that we are supposed to have. We are frugivores, or that should be fruitarians, and then we can move on to living off just water and breatharians and whatnot. So that right there shows that our body produces everything we need. The fruit is just what's very easy for our bodies to digest, and it allows the body to stay hydrated and do what it needs to do until it can make it to that next level. So when you're listening to people and they're making it sound very complex and very hard and whatnot, then that's usually when that's kind of signals that go up for me that say it's supposed to be simple. It shouldn't be very complicated, because our bodies are what actually does everything that it needs to do.
Yeah. I was just thinking too, next week will be the day I'll be breaking my fast. So I'll look forward to being on the show again to report how I'm doing.
Awesome. Really good to hear.
Yeah, that sounds great. I was looking at the clock and I see that it was 1:11. And Sarah, you always at 1:11 you have the most amazing things to say.
When my spirit comes through, my higher self talks.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
Katie does have a quick question on here though, and her son's willing to go on fruit. So that's like something I think we should at least try to touch on before we get off of here. She wants to know what kind of wild rice is good to eat.
There is they call it, sometimes they call it a wild rice blend. No, because they put all kinds of stuff in it. There is one brand, and it's a black package, and it's definitely not Uncle Ben's. It's an unknown name, and it's just wild rice, nothing else. So if that says that on it, that is that is the best one that you can do.
That's great. And Katie, see how powerful you are? I bet you probably didn't have to do much, but just stay there and shine your light for your family. So wonderful to hear, and wonderful to hear everyone's journey and whatnot. We love this, and we love that you all come here every week and let us know all this, and that how much you all are doing out there too. And I'm sure every one of you are touching other people as well.
Yes, and it's like what you just said, Sarah, about keeping it simple. We say that over and over, keep it's simple. It is simple. It's been made too complicated, and now we have to go back to the simplicity of all. And it makes life so much easier. And okay, guys, I have another appointment coming up, so I do have to go. I want to thank everybody for being here and sharing information with us. I thank you for that. And of course, Sarah, you are as always amazing. I love you. And yeah, and in the group, please, if you feel like it, do answer. And I think I should make you a moderator. And because you have so much knowledge already, and you can help so many people. So thanks everybody for being here. And I would say till the next time, we love you.
Love to you all too. And thank you, JB and Mindy.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, absolutely. Everyone have a great week. Bye.
Ciao for now.